Gemini / Taurus, North Node Gemini, South Node Sagittarius, and you will not believe how literally this happened in my own life. But first, let's talk about the world stage. So, 18 degrees of Gemini is Chinese men talking. And think about what you're hearing in the news media. We're hearing a lot of talk about China again, right? The lab in Wuhan, Dr. Fauci, what is true, what is false. South Node and Sag is the truth, is what is the truth. Gemini rules the news media, communications, talk. So it is ruled by Mercury, and Mercury is in retrograde, means it's going back to get more information to find out the truth. So I thought that was really interesting. Also, Mercury is squaring Neptune, and if you remember, good old Neptune can cause deception and leave you wondering and in confusion with the news media again, anything on camera. So here we are trying to learn the truth, South Node of Sag, through them. Now to give you an example from my own personal experience, just to show you how literal astrology is, as above, so below. Gemini rules neighbors and those in your neighborhood, but specifically neighbors. And turns out my neighbor was lying, was plotting against us to have us removed from our two-family house. Now, this goes back to Mars, Pluto this week, the Mars opposing Pluto. These are power maneuvers to eclipse people, like we're also seeing in Israel, but more on that in a second. Back to my personal experience with my neighbors, Gemini, trying to plot against us to have us removed, telling lies. What happened is it backfired on them, and actually they are now having to leave the property. They are being asked to leave. And we are now being gifted the entire property. A huge blessing in Taurus, the South Node, which is financial stability, which is comfort, beautiful home, a financial blessing. So that just happened, and my neighbors were eclipsed out of our life. So personal experience of mine, which shows how literal astrology is. Also, last week, we were dealing with a Mars-Pluto opposition, which is power moves to try to remove people from places of power. And it got pretty crazy around here, where my neighbor became very violent and attacked me verbally, and it was out of control. So that happened after the full moon lunar eclipse, and so that is obviously changing the course of their destiny and ours, and that's what eclipses do, sudden change. And we saw sort of the same situation on a much larger scale happening in Israel, where they were plotting or are plotting to remove Benjamin Netanyahu from power. So they were going behind his back to have him removed and replaced, which they are now, protesting in the streets of Israel against this new government that's trying to come in and take over. So power moves, Mars opposite Pluto. So look at where this eclipse is happening in your chart. In order to find that, you look for Gemini, and somewhere around 18 degrees, give or take 2 or 3 degrees on each side. So eclipses can literally eclipse something out of your life. In my case, Gemini, my neighbors. Yeah. So, and a huge blessing for the South Node in Taurus. So that, look at your own life. Maybe you're experiencing something similar. Gemini also rules, like I said, communication, media, writing. And with Mercury retrograde, if you are thinking of writing, maybe writing that book or any podcast or blogs or whatever, maybe you're going back over, reviewing anything you've written. Maybe wait till Mercury goes direct to then release any writing projects, but now's a good time to plan those and kind of get laid out. I'm working on my first book. I'll tell you more about that. So the truth may be being eclipsed again by Neptune, the media, but Mercury retrograde is going back to get more information and find out more and look a little bit more closely at what we've been told in the past, maybe regarding 2020 and what took place. So hopefully some more truth will come forward. But eclipses, like I said, can change the course of events greatly and suddenly. So, and surprisingly, shockingly, these things can rock your world and set you on a whole new course. So find Gemini in your chart. Which house is it affecting and how are you feeling this eclipse? Let me know, and thank you for listening.